Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Cowboys Nation. This is your go-to source for the latest and most thrilling Dallas Cowboys news. Today, we've got a blockbuster story that's shaking the NFL to its core. Hold on to your hats, folks. Trevor Lawrence is heading to Dallas. That's right, the former number 1 overall pick, the face of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is now a Cowboy. Stay tuned as we dive into the details of this monumental move. This isn't just shocking, it's earth-shattering. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody. Not even the most plugged-in insiders had this on their radar. Dallas somehow pulled off what can only be described as the heist of the decade. This isn't a rumor, it's not a fan theory, it's official, it's happening, it's done. Trevor Lawrence is swapping teal and gold for silver and blue. And the NFL world? It's losing its collective mind. Twitter exploded the moment Adam Schefter broke the news. Instagram flooded with Photoshop edits of Lawrence in a Cowboys uniform. ESPN went to commercial, came back, and threw out their whole lineup just to go wall to wall on this. So how in the world did we get here? Well, it starts with tension brewing quietly in Jacksonville for over a year now. Lawrence, despite the big contract and massive expectations, wasn't feeling the support he needed. Sure, he had moments, huge comebacks, wild throws that made you say wow, and even a playoff win that had everyone buzzing. But behind the scenes, there were whispers. The chemistry with the coaching staff? Questionable. The offensive scheme? Too rigid. The play calling? Predictable. And the injuries didn't help either. An ankle tweak here, a shoulder sprain there, and the whispers turned into murmurs into frustration. Then came the losing streak that tanked their season. Meanwhile, the Cowboys were quietly evaluating their own situation. Dak Prescott, who's been nothing if not dependable, had started to plateau. Playoff disappointment stacked up, year after year, and the question lingered, is this as far as we go with Dak? Jerry Jones isn't known for patience. He's known for bold, theatrical, headline-grabbing moves, and when he smelled blood in the water in Jacksonville, he pounced. Negotiations were swift, secretive, and stunningly expensive. The Cowboys gave up 2 first-rounders, a third-round pick, a proven linebacker, and a backup QB, mortgaging a big chunk of the future to bring Trevor Lawrence to Arlington. And Jerry? He's all smiles. He sees this not as a gamble, but as the final piece to the Super Bowl puzzle. This move screams desperation, yes, but it also screams belief. Belief that this young man, with his generational talent and massive upside, can deliver what the Cowboys haven't had since the 90s, a Lombardi trophy. And Trevor? Oh, he's excited. Word from his camp is that he's thrilled to join a team with real weapons, real support, and a national platform. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson, these are receivers who can stretch the field and punish defenses, unlike what he had to work with in Jacksonville. Tony Pollard is lightning in a bottle in the backfield. And that O-line? Still among the best in football, giving Trevor the protection he rarely had in Florida. This is a quarterback's dream. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room, Dak Prescott. The man who's been the face of the franchise, who's won divisions, made Pro Bowls, thrown for 4,500 yards, and stood tall through every up and down, now finds himself pushed aside. It's a brutal business. The moment Trevor signed on the dotted line, Dak's fate was sealed. He's as good as gone. The only question now is where he goes next. There are teams that need a QB: Atlanta, New England, maybe even Tennessee. Don't be surprised if a trade goes down in the next few days. But back to Dallas, this changes everything. Expectations just got supercharged. No more building. No more excuses. No more next year talk. This is go time. The moment Lawrence steps onto that field in Week 1, fans will expect fireworks. They'll expect wins. They'll expect playoff dominance. The pressure is going to be massive. This isn't Jacksonville, where growing pains were accepted. This is Dallas. This is prime time. This is win or we riot territory. And you know what? Lawrence seems built for it. Say what you will about his NFL resume so far, but the kid has ice in his veins. Big game mentality. He played in national championships at Clemson like it was just another Saturday. He's media savvy, composed, and ridiculously talented. This may be the most explosive QB City pairing since Mahomes hit Kansas City. And speaking of Mahomes, yeah, that's the measuring stick now. That's who Trevor has to beat. Not just to win, but to silence critics, to justify this trade, to live up to the massive expectations now sitting on his shoulders. This is the NFL's main stage, and the lights have never been brighter. As for the rest of the league? Oh, they're scrambling. The NFC East just got flipped upside down. The Eagles, who've run the division recently, now have serious competition. Washington and the Giants? Good luck keeping up. This also affects next year's draft. Teams that were banking on a QB slipping to them may now be looking elsewhere. The balance of power has shifted. Analysts are already revising their power rankings, with Dallas now firmly planted in the top 5 across nearly every network. And don't sleep on the Vegas odds either. Super Bowl futures for the Cowboys jumped the moment the news dropped. Merch sales? Through the roof. Ticket prices? Up 30% overnight. You think Jerry's not smiling ear to ear? This is business and football coming together in the most Jerry Jones way possible. But here's the kicker: this isn't even just about 2025. This is about legacy. This is Jerry Jones saying, "I'm going out swinging." He's not getting any younger, and you can tell he wants one more ring before he hands over the reins. And what better way than with a young, flashy, elite quarterback who can redefine the franchise for the next decade? Imagine the stories: the Cowboys dynasty reborn. Trevor lifting the Lombardi in a star-emblazoned jersey. It's the stuff of movies. But now comes the hard part: winning. On paper, this team looks stacked. But games aren't played on paper. It's going to take work, chemistry, adjustments, learning the system, earning trust in the locker room. There are vets on this team who rode and died with Dak. Will they immediately rally behind a newcomer? Can Trevor prove himself fast enough to avoid any early season tension? The margin for error is razor thin. One bad game, one sloppy interception, and the media firestorm will ignite. But if he balls out? If he steps up and drops 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in week 1? This town will worship him. He will be a god in Texas. Bigger than Romo. Bigger than Aikman. Maybe even bigger than Staubach if he brings home a title. Because Cowboys fans, man, they are hungry. Starving. Decades of almost, of heartbreak, of letdowns, it's all built up to this moment. One swing of the axe, and the whole league is holding its breath. So buckle up, because this season just became must-watch TV. Every snap, every throw, every press conference is going to be under a microscope. Trevor Lawrence is now the Cowboy. And whether this ends in glory or disaster, it's going to be one hell of a ride. If you're still watching, you're part of history. Smash that like button, leave your reaction in the comments. Are we witnessing the beginning of the next NFL dynasty, or the most overhyped move since the Herschel Walker trade? Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because we're covering everything. From camp to kickoff, this story is just beginning. And trust me, you don't want to miss a second of it.